Invite the chime to sing and arrive fully to this beautiful practice. Welcome everyone. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha. And I'd like to begin our practice today sharing with you a sentiment of metta, loving kindness. This one reads, "May you grow in love. May you grow in love." And may Felicia find all the matches to her socks today, because that is just such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. May you grow in love and arrive completely to this practice. Take a moment to allow those words. There's just 5 of them. May you grow in love. Allow those words to maybe start forming an image in your mind of what that could mean. And allow your mind to go with it. Allow your mind to wander. You know, there are plenty of meditations where we concentrate the mind, we really tame the mind to focus on something. In this practice, let the mind go. Let it be like a kite or a balloon, an environmentally friendly one, should it disintegrate. And let it catch the whimsy of the winds, and let your mind wander in and out of this practice today. To take away the pressure, to take away the constraint, to take away how things should be, that attitude, the tone of that attitude is actually an act of love and permission, freedom. Today's words for our practice in this book, if you're following along, are on page 94 and 95. This beautiful artwork by Roshane Ray. And these incredible words by Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. I have come to rebuild what has been shattered. To rebuild love. I have come to rebuild what has been shattered. Oh, so painful. I have come to rebuild what was shattered, what has been shattered, to rebuild love. Thich Nhat Hanh also writes, when we nourish awareness of the world's suffering, we feel compassion born of insight. When we nourish awareness of the world's suffering, we feel compassion born of insight. friends. Let's bring this impeccable wisdom in the context of recovery. And let's make it even more specific and put it in the context of self-love and self-compassion. Let's even make it more specific and put it into the context of the four limitless qualities in Buddhism: loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. And let's allow these limitless qualities to be the corner posts of the temple of us, your temple that has been shattered, destroyed by the very human qualities of ignorance, greed, fear, aggression, confusion, hatred, resentment, loss. All of those very human experiences and qualities that have arisen in our lives, and without practice and without awareness, we have allowed those qualities to govern our actions. And the shelter that we have tried to create for ourselves has now collapsed. And now we're building a new shelter. A reminder that in this destruction, in this rubble, we have this extraordinary opportunity to rebuild with the qualities of loving kindness, brick by brick. Loving kindness in the way you are present to yourself and others. Loving kindness in the way you express patience and tenderness, in the way you touch someone or embrace them, the way you look deeply, noticing the features of their face, the way you listen and engage. Loving kindness even when you are with someone who is boring you to tears. Small talk. It's insufferable. Loving kindness in the way you bring forward surprise and lightheartedness by engaging people away from their boring same old conversations into something else. Random questions. What's your favorite candy? What were your favorite shoes in the first grade? Did you ever have an ant farm? This could stir up a whole lot of joy. Imagine rebuilding the temple of yourself with joy. How do you find joy? How do you share joy? Brick by brick, building the temple of yourself, a place of love, really belonging in the family of love, the qualities of compassion, to feel with another person without getting so swept up by what that other person is enduring that you lose yourself. Compassion is well boundaried, strong, clear, calculated, soft, vulnerable, tender. Brick by brick, bringing forward the awareness of equanimity. What a weird word. It only means that we have this capacity to examine the positives in our lives with the negatives without reacting to either or, and coming into awareness when we react to either or. We're often, as human beings, chasing the positive and resisting the negative. And recovery communities are brilliant environments to explore this, because many, many, many people, dare I say most people, engage with substances skillfully at first. And they use substances to avoid painful memories, painful experiences, painful situations, and they receive a lot of pleasure from the substances they use until they don't. And what ends up happening is what was once was pleasurable is now pain. And the pain that was being covered and avoided is now stronger than ever. So equanimity is the commitment to look at the positives and negatives with a spirit of neutrality. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about cultivating equanimity as creating space. So much space for you to see yourself and your actions. And even when your actions are unskillful, and they will be because you're human, instead of beating yourself up for being unskillful, for whatever the reason, you give yourself space to look at the conditions that cause that unskillful action. And then you endeavor to add rightness to it, to add healing and repair. And you commit to learning from that error and do something different the next time. In that space and in that neutrality, Thich Nhat Hanh says, with equanimity, we have freedom. I have come to rebuild what has been shattered, to rebuild love. The walls of your kindness, the walls of your joy and compassion, the walls of your spaciousness. May you find shelter here in what you've rebuilt. May you find a place of belonging. come home to love. Many years ago, I wrote a story called, I can't remember the total name of it. It's something like Painting a Life. And it was the recognition that I had in my mind painted a life of how I thought my life was going to be. And overnight, that painting, that canvas, looked as if all the colors were running down the canvas, pooling at the bottom of it in a muddy brown puddle. And yet the outline of my life remained on the canvas, things that really mattered to me, my health, my family, my children, my farm. And one day I looked at that brown, muddy mess of my former life, and I picked up a paintbrush and I started painting. And the surprise was that new colors emerged from the muddy brown. That's what we're endeavoring to wake up to. That's the potentiality and the possibility of love, to not give up, to not just see that muddy brown and go, all the paint is ruined, when in fact something new will indeed arise, but we have to be there to see it.